an NSCA Q&A. Yay! Thank you. Hello everybody, Seth Call here, and welcome to the answers to the Nnscra Q&A. I said that you guys could ask me anything, and I'd be absolutely honest with you. That one burning question that you've been wanting to ask me, and a lot of people put questions and everything for me to answer, so let's get to it. The first one is from Candyman93, Michael Norman, and he says, why can you never talk/record when your parents are home? Well, that's actually only half true. Thank you. I am actually able to record when my parents are home. I've done several Town of Salems that I've uploaded where I'm not able to talk, but I've been able to record other people, you know, when we're doing like a gameplay or something. All thanks to these very trusty headphones that you can't hear anybody else through. But normally, you know, I'm not able to talk when when my parents are home. And I think when he said record, he's talking about like co-commentating races and stuff. The reason for the whole thing is because the races that I've done for the past, now going on 4+ years, is my parents would never really understand that I'm doing this as a hobby and I'm doing it for fun. To them, they would see this as a complete waste of my time, a complete waste of my life. I would never be able to explain to them that I'm able to balance between doing college work and doing this. They would say that I should devote the time that I'm devoting to this to college work as well, and I don't want to run into that situation. So for 4 years, over 4 years, I've been keeping uploading NR 2003 races, doing gaming stuff, all this stuff as a secret. I've had to, for most of the time, do a lot of my recording in the morning. At the current moment, I'm currently doing this Q&A in the morning while my parents are out for their usual morning ride. A lot of my recordings take place in the morning in order to be able to at least get some content out for you guys. Other times when I'm able to record are when they have to go to like appointments, when they're going to go over and visit my aunt and uncle, that kind of thing. So it's usually whenever they're out of the house that I do a lot of my recording and everything. Because like I said, if they ended up finding out about it, they'd be like, well, this is a complete waste of your life, we want you to stop doing it. So in order to even have this series going on and everything, I have to basically keep it a complete secret from my parents. Okay, next question comes from a lot of people. YouTube wants to know, when will the truck race be up? Well guys, I'm letting you guys know, we did the sign-ups for the truck series, as you already know, which is probably why you guys are wanting to know when the truck series race is out. The big thing is, Anthony McCurry, who's running the truck series, he is not able to devote as much time to doing recording and editing of races as myself and Michael Norman are able to do. Anthony works for a company that sets up staging and sound equipment for a lot of bands, because he lives down around what's the word I'm looking for? He doesn't live around Nashville, but he lives around places where a lot of big name concerts take place. And so he works for a company that sets the stuff up. So he is not able to, A, devote as much time to recording and editing, B, not able to devote as much free time to being able to get stuff like that done, because he's doing a lot of work like that and everything. But you know, he's told me several times that he's intended to get a race out, and things have just come up and he's not been able to. He was planning to have one up last Tuesday, he was then planning to have one up last Thursday, and things have just been getting in the way, he's just not been able to do it. So, you know, in all honesty, NR 2003 really should be a hobby and not a life's work. And if life comes up, well, that's going to take preference. That's going to be first and foremost. And so, you know, I completely understand Anthony not being able to get out races right now. He'll get them out when he can, and he'll get them up there for you guys. But as far as when it's coming out, I can't give you guys a date. We're just going to have to see when Anthony's able to find some free time to be able to record and edit. Next question is from TMSRA Sports Network 81, aka Daniel Voice. When is the 3 hours of Limerick going to happen? Well, the 3 hours of Lime Rock, more than likely, if it takes place at all, it's going to take place after Snickers Cup Series Season 10. Like I said, NSCRA is not going to shut down after Season 10 is over. Just Snickers Cup Series, Mobile Cup Series, or Euro Truck Series won't be running anymore. Like I said, I'll still keep doing NR things, like special races and stuff, and 3 hours of Lime Rock will fit under that. The only thing that I'm not sure about with the 3 hours of Lime Rock is I don't know if I'm going to, with the field that I've got right now, if I'm going to just do it, because a lot of people probably have forgotten that the 3 hours of Lime Rock was a thing that was going to happen, and so I may end up having to go back and, do re-sign-ups and stuff, but I don't know yet. But if the 3 hours of Lime Rock do take place, it will take place after Season 10 of the Snickers Cup Series is over. Next question comes from Skylar Dixon. Will you ever shave that hair? You don't like my hair? My hair is beautiful. Why would I shave it? I've never shaved this. The only time that the shortest I've ever had my hair was one time when my head actually looked like a rectangle because the doggone hair salon person went and shaved up the side here and up the side here, and it looked like I had a box for a head, and it was ugly, and I hated it. But that's the closest I ever got to shaving my head. I don't think I would ever shave my head. No, I don't think I would. I like this hair. One thing I would like to do is try and grow a beard, like here and here. I think I would look good with it, but my mom says that I wouldn't, so I have to keep shaving it. But a little bit of rebellion right here. Yes, it's nice and fuzzy. See the fuzz? It's beautiful. Yes. Next question is from Elite Fleet. Or Elite Flight, I don't know how you would say it. They look so similar. So this is the last season. Can all of your series be in HD? I'm actually rendering them all this season in 480 resolution. I started out rendering them in 360 resolution. Basically because it only took about 2 hours to render the race, and then it took about maybe a half hour to 45 minutes to upload the race. But then I thought, well, the quality doesn't look quite as good, so I went to 480. That takes about 3.5 hours to render the race, which isn't so bad. And then it takes about roughly 45 minutes to an hour to upload to YouTube. So adding a little bit on, but not too bad, and the quality's better. The problem with recording in 720 or 1080 is with my computer, and I don't know if other people have run into this problem, especially with the summer here, with the summer heat that's going on. I actually have to have my computer on a beer flat, which allows the air to circulate underneath. And even then, sometimes with programs running like Sony Vegas Pro, which I use to render my races, the computer's hard drive will overheat and it will randomly shut itself down. It does that a lot of times when I'm doing online racing, when NR 2003 is up. It does it a lot of times when Skype is up. It's done it sometimes when Gary's mod is up. There's some programs where it just is like the hard drive is devoting so much energy to keep it running that it'll overheat and shut itself down. So in order to avoid that, I try not to have Sony Vegas Pro rendering something as long as possible. I can tell you right now, if I put it in 720, it would probably take about 4 to 5 hours to render. If I put it in 1080, it would take about 6 to 7 hours to render. And the problem is, I don't want to have a race go 5 hours rendering, and then the computer shut down, and I have an unrendered video and have to render it all over again. So to be safe, the highest I'm going to be rendering them is in 480, which I don't think that's necessarily considered HD, but you know, it's the best I could do with what I've got, and at least it's going to look somewhat good quality. I uploaded one race in 480, which actually looked pretty good. 360, they were blurry. The cars were blurry, I will admit, but 480, it looked pretty good. And so I think I'm going to be rendering all my videos for this season in 480 resolution. Next question is from Stephen Robert, or Stephen Pollard III. What is 10 plus 9? 10 plus 9 is 19. You're welcome. Next question comes from Clint8813, which I believe is Clint Spillman. What was your favorite custom paint scheme that you made for your leagues? Favorite custom scheme that I made? I think probably if I had to say my all-time favorite custom scheme that I've ever made for my leagues, probably would have been the number 1 Rain-X Chevrolet. That car was actually a lot of fun to make. That was a Jamie McMurray car, I think. I'm trying to remember what year it was. I want to say 2008, 2009. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong though. But the yellow Rain-X car. That car was a lot of fun to paint, and it was one of the few that actually came out and looked like the car that I wanted it to look like. There are a lot of other cars though that I've painted that that I've really liked the outcome of. Some of my 52 cars I've really liked, like the Kraft Mac and Cheese car. Another car that probably I've liked as well, that took me a long time to do, and most people haven't actually seen it because it runs offline, or not make that online races, was a number 6 Peanuts Christmas, Charlie Brown Christmas Dodge that I made for the NNS13 mod for Jessica Shelton. That was actually a really cool car, and that was an unusual car, and that was a lot of fun to make too. So that was probably one of my favorite ones. It wasn't for an offline league, but it was for an online league. But that was a fun paint scheme to work on, and the end result was actually quite good. Next question is from Bob Jones GCS, or aka Bob Jones. Bring back the online league with the Gen 6 mod. Not a question, just a request. Well, Bob, that's too bad because the Gen 6 mod runs cup physics most of the time, and we already got other plans, so. Next question comes from Austin LaPlante. Is Seth Call your real name? Actually, it is. Yeah, Seth Call is my real name. For Facebook, the Christopher Pierce, as a matter of fact, I'll give you guys a little bit of unknown fact. Christopher Pierce was a good friend of mine back in, wow, and what did it have been? It would have been around 1999, 2000. Actually, earlier than that. When I was going to a school called Mohawk Valley Christian Academy for elementary school, I was, I think, in the 5th grade, and he was in the 2nd grade. But he was a NASCAR fan and a Jeff Gordon fan, and I actually started up a club in that school called the NASCAR Club. And we had a good group of kids that were a part of it. There were about 7 of us that were in that group, and we'd get together after school and we'd talk about NASCAR, we'd talk about the stuff that was going to happen at the next race that week. And we actually also, at the end of the season, had a group photo. After we had done like a school play or something, we all got together and my parents got a group photo of us, and it was pretty awesome. I was the president, my sister Mary was the secretary, and Christopher Pierce was actually our vice president. And Christopher Pierce was a great guy. I miss him a lot. He was a really good friend of mine, but he was such a good friend of mine, that's why I used his name as my alias on Facebook. Next question comes from Zach Rogers. What is your favorite NR 2003 road course not located in the U.S.? If I were to, in terms of racing styles and everything, I'd have to say Wheels of Fire, which I believe is a French track. Wheels of Fire, or as I deemed it, Champs-Élysées. I only called it Champs-Élysées because I didn't really care for the Wheels of Fire title, and since it was in France, why not name it after a famous French street, the Champs-Élysées? So I would have to say probably Wheels of Fire is one of my favorite ones, basically because of the way that it seems like there are no advantages with outside-inside line. There's a lot of good passing that goes on, and that's why we keep coming back to it every season in Snickers Cup, and we're coming back to it again this season in Snickers Cup as well. Next question comes from NASCAR Stop Motion Guy, aka Sean Galligan. I've always wanted to ask, and it might sound confusing, but I see at any race meeting in any series, does it cost money for the driver to test, race round a track along with the team? Well, honestly, I'm not sure. That's a good question. I don't know if it does cost money for them to test. My assumption is no, I don't think so, but I'm not exactly sure. I've never actually thought about that, so I don't know. My instinct would be to say no, but there is a possibility that it could cost money. So honestly, I'm afraid I can't answer that question as a matter of fact, only just give you my opinion, and my opinion is that I don't think it costs money. Next question comes from Pint Size Con, aka Matthew Rodriguez. Nice to see you again, Matt, in the comments section. Have you ever snorted the substance known as Fun Dip? I haven't. I actually was supposed to be up for it. I think it was after the second year that Matthew Rodriguez did it. I was supposed to, I think in the 3rd anniversary of Nnscra, I was supposed to be the one that snorted Fun Dip, but I never did, and I have not done it now. That's a distinction that is left entirely to Matt Rod. But, yeah. So, no, never done it, Matt Rod. Nope, but I know that you are a professional in that field. Next question is from Joshy Minecraft. Will you ever be trying iRacing? Probably not. For those of you that have raced online with me, you know that I'm not exactly that great at NR 2003 online racing. I can win a high grip records race here and there, but I'm not exactly very good at online racing. The only online legit race that I've ever actually won was a race where the top 3 ended up wrecking at Bristol, and I was able to get around them. So I didn't even really earn the win there. So I'm not a very good online racer. So to pay for online racing, for iRacing, really wouldn't be beneficial to me in any way, shape, or form, because I'm really not there at a professional level enough to be able to even try iRacing. I'd like to try and get at least a handle on NR 2003 first, which I don't think is going to happen since I'm a keyboarder and I have to race with assists. Honestly, if I'm just being perfectly honest, I don't think if I got a wheel it would make any difference. I just don't have the chemistry, don't have the knack really to be that good in online racing. But I enjoy doing it. I enjoy at least trying to be consistent, even though I'm not able to really go for wins. There are a lot of people out there in the online community that are a lot better than me. But I'm just there to have fun and try and get more experience and learn. Next question is from Jonathan Zorley. What gaming systems do you own, if you have any? The only gaming system that I do currently have is a Nintendo Wii. And really, I'm not able to do a whole lot on that because now Mario Kart Online is no more. So I can't race online with people. The only person I was ever able to race online with on Mario Kart Wii was Dylan Young. And we raced one time, and my internet connection died. Yeah, it was great. But that's the only gaming system I currently have. I have had a PlayStation 2, I have had a PlayStation 1, and I've had a Sega Saturn. That's the only gaming consoles I've ever had. I've never had anything up to date like an Xbox One, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, never had anything like that. Next question is from Erin Henderson. What is the most embarrassing moment of your life? The most embarrassing moment of my life, probably, if I'm thinking off the top of my head, this is a little short story. My parents ended up calling me up. They were somewhere, I don't remember where they were, and they said, we're going to have pizza when we come home. Would you order the pizza for us? And I said, sure. So I got on the phone, I called up the pizzeria place, and I ordered the pizza. I'm saying I would like to have pepperoni on half, extra sauce, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, dead silence on the other side of the phone. And I thought, did I lose connection? Did they hang up? All of a sudden, I get a person on the other side saying, I'm sorry, but you've reached the Midvale Animal Clinic. So I called a veterinary office to order pizza. Yeah, not exactly my best day, and I was pretty embarrassed about that. So just letting you guys know, don't call your local animal clinic or your veterinary office to get pizza, because more than likely, you're not going to get it. That's a message from Seth Call. Next question comes from NASCAR Craft 01. How can you be so successful with just NR 2003? Well, I think that the only reason that this channel has been successful with NR 2003 is because I started NR 2003 at the right time. The golden years of NR 2003 were back in 2010, 2011, 2012. That was the golden years of NR 2003. Now it's started to fall off a little bit. People are getting older. they're having to do stuff life-wise. They're losing interest as they're getting older. Now people are kind of having to pass the torch, and there aren't very many people out there that are willing to take the torch and run. The golden years, like I said, were 2010, 2011, 2012. That's when I came in. That's when Trent Dunham came in. That's when Sean Henley came in. Dylan Poteet came in. I believe Dylan Young came in at that time. There were some others that were in at that time. I don't know if I just said Sean Galligan or not, but he was in that group. John Dillon was in that. There were a lot of people that started it up and had it going, and it became really popular during that time. That was when it really became popular. But if you'll notice, Enter 2003 has fallen off, and it's affected this channel as well. I've kept going with Enter 2003, but I've also had to move into other things, like gameplay with multiplayer gaming with other people. Had to go into that aspect. The channel has had to evolve and not be just Enter 2003, because like I said, Enter 2003 still has some level of popularity, but in order to keep the channel growing, I do have to diversify a little bit and add some other stuff in. So that's basically the only thing that I can attribute the success of this channel to, as far as Enter 2003, is the fact that the channel started in what I would call the golden years of Enter 2003, the time when Enter 2003 really was big time mainstream. Next question comes from the Formal Slime, aka I believe that's Matthew Gallio. Do you announce anywhere that you will be playing Cards Against Humanity, Town of Salem, etc.? I really want to play with you guys. Most of the time I do. Sometimes when we play, it's just a random message, do you want to play Town of Salem? Sure, who else is on? But on Facebook, on the NSCRA Enter 2003 series group page is where I do most of the posting of that. Most of the time I do the posting of Town of Salem, Cards Against Humanity, Gary's Mod, stuff like that, Trackmania, stuff like that. That's when I'll usually post the updates of whether a gaming group's going to get together or not. As a matter of fact, for those of you that do not know, that don't have Facebook, on when is it? July 28th, I believe it is. I think it's a Tuesday at 1 o'clock. We're going to be getting into Skype, and we're going to, or either Skype or TeamSpeak, and we're going to be doing a Gary's Mod gaming session. For those of you that have Gary's Mod, you can join us on that if you want to. I haven't decided if we're going to do Prop Hunt or Hide and Seek. That's all still up in the air. It's still about 2 weeks away anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But that's something that we're going to be doing, and I've posted an update about that on the Facebook group. But that's usually where I do my updates on gaming stuff that's going on and sessions that are going to be going on. Next question is from Enter 2003 Leagues, aka Chris Kyle. Do you like guns? Do I like to use guns? No. Do I like to observe guns? Yeah. I've worked a couple of gun auctions before, and actually learned a lot about guns in the process. I can tell you, before I started working for auctions, I knew zilch about guns, really, except the fact that you pull the trigger and they shoot. But I learned a lot about, the locks on guns. I learned a lot about, caliber of guns, what kind of bullet they would take, what's the difference between a shotgun and a rifle. I've gotten quite a learned experience from auctions, and guns was one aspect where I've done some learning. So, do I like guns in general? Well, not really, but I'm willing to learn about them. Next question comes from Silver Machine 9000, aka Anthony McCurry. What are your top 5 Enter 2003 offline races of all time? Well, probably one of my first ones was the Daytona 500 race that I had here this season. That was pretty exciting. 100 laps. And a guy that has such bad Daytona 500 luck ends up winning it in Trent Dunham. Some other ones that I really enjoyed doing, though, I really enjoyed doing the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. Some great times there, great commentary that went on. Myself, Ralph Mason, Anthony McCurry, John Cittadino, Dylan Young, Michael Norman. That was a great time. I think Chris Dollerton was actually with us at that time as well. That was a great group, and that was a lot of fun to commentate. I think some of the other ones that were fun for me personally to do was last season's All-Star race with Dylan Poteet. As a matter of fact, any All-Star race with Dylan Poteet, we always have the craziest commentary and everything, and can't wait to get back in the booth with him for the All-Star race this season. So that's 3. Let's see. Number 4. Probably number 4, one of the exciting races for me as a commentator was when I co-commentated the Talladega race with Michael Norman, where they went 4 wide and a driver went up the middle for the lead in the win. That was pretty exciting. That was an unusual thing to see at Talladega in the end of 2003, and that was a lot of fun to see and to be able to commentate. And probably the final one for me was that one time, it was a Mobil 1 Cup Series race. I can't remember which season it was. It was Jared Crocious, I think, had to finish in a certain position in order to make it into the chase, and he finished in that exact spot, and I just lost it. I think I killed my voice, too. My throat was hurting, and that was an exciting offline race to commentate because it was just right down to the wire. He had to get that spot to get into the chase, and he did get that spot in the chase. He had to actually miss a wreck on the last lap in order to get that spot too, which it was like, wow, how in the world did that happen? So that was an exciting race for me too. So those probably would be my top 5 favorite online or offline races to be able to commentate. From Timothy Walsh, what is the meaning of life? Well, life is a breakfast cereal from, I believe, General Mills, and I've actually never had it before, but that's what life is. It's also a board game. Life is also a board game. It's a fun board game, and I actually sold one of them at my yard sale last week for $1. So there you go. That's what life is. Life is a breakfast cereal, and life is a board game. Next question from Zach Buchanan. How was I born? Alright, Zach, I know this is going to be very hard for you to understand. This is probably going to change your entire aspect on life. But, I have on good authority that your parents ended up having you in a very, very unusual way. Mail order from the Sears Roebuck catalog. Sorry, I had to tell you. You asked. I had to tell you. Had to be honest. That's how it happened. Enjoy your life. Next question from Johnny Gardner. Where will I make my NASCAR debut and for what team? Well, first off, I didn't know that you were planning on getting into NASCAR. Probably a lot of people thought that I was planning on getting into NASCAR, and I honestly don't have any interest of becoming a NASCAR driver or anything like that. But I don't know. I don't know what team would be the best place for you to go, Johnny. Like I said in the NASCAR Talk episode, it is going to be very difficult for upcoming drivers to make their way up to the Sprint Cup Series with the fact that there are teams with so few slots. I'd say probably your best bet would probably be with maybe Roush Fenway Racing, because they've got a lot of developmental drivers like Ryan Reed, Chris Buescher, who could maybe make their way up to the Sprint Cup Series. You could probably get a Truck Series or a Nationwide Series ride with them, or not Nationwide, Xfinity. Yeah, I knew I wasn't saying the right Xfinity Series ride. If you were going to make it up to the Sprint Cup Series, maybe like a smaller team, like the 98 team maybe or something, or the 95 team, something like that, I would think. You can't have the 13 because Casey Mears is there for 2016. Yay! But, yeah. Next question from Jessica Shelton. Who woke the baby? Just kidding, LOL. Actually, the answer to that question was me. I don't remember what race it was, but there was something where I did some kind of yelling at the end of my video, and then I had a baby cry. I actually was the one that woke the baby, so that's actually the answer to the question. I don't know which race it was. You can try and find it, but at the end of some race back, I think it was in season 7, I yelled something out at the end, and then I put a soundtrack of the baby crying at the end, and I was like, doggone it! So, yeah, I woke the baby. Secret's out. So thank you all so much for asking questions for this Q&A. I hope that I was able to answer the questions to the way you wanted it and everything. Yeah, oh, he's my boy. Mwah. This is my buddy Duncan. He's my little baby boy, and he's not very happy right now because he's having to be stuck in here with me. But you want to say anything to the people, Duncan? He's saying, help me, that's what I want to say. So anyway, thanks everybody for your questions, and I hope you enjoyed the answers and everything. I'll see you guys next time. More races, more gaming content coming out here. And we will see you guys next time. Say bye, Duncan. Where's your paw? Bye! Bye-bye! Bye! That's quite a yawn. Okay, bye-bye.